Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 173 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh. We've got a great show today. We've got an amazing house that sits on a golf course in Grand Prairie, and we're going to head north to Richardson and take a look at a single family almost.
It is
Single family that is very vertical, newer construction, and we want you to take it and join with us.
And in our second segment today, we are going to play a video of Chris Kaylie talking about what has happened to population in North Texas. It was sent out to us earlier in the week, and it's just an incredible conversation about it. And I couldn't do justice to like regurgitate it. So we're just going to play the video.
Well, you probably already know because you see the traffic, but the numbers I think are going to surprise you and where they come from. So be sure to check that out. It's got a lot of good information. In the market, I'm sure everybody's seeing all the articles talking about what's happening, how things are going crazy. But I want to take and kind of, you and I were talking about this today because transaction is closed. We actually had met with a client earlier in the spring, and there had been, he had actually been approached by another, shall we say, iBuyer that had offered him a set amount.
And iBuyers are like the open doors. There's I don't know, there's like 20 or 30 of those companies out there right now.
Where they just want to buy your house and you get out easy, and it's supposed to be simple and moving on down the road.
Supposed to save you those realtor fees.
Yeah. Well, so they had offered him a set number, and then we actually came and visited with him, and we think, well, there's a lot left in the kitty. And then we raised the price one more time as he was getting ready before we went live. All in and out, he actually netted $115,000 more than what their easy in and out is. And I think that so many people are like, oh, that's a great number and we should really talk about that. But it's not always there, is it?
It's not. And really that doesn't even take into account the fees that iBuyer was going to charge, which in many cases, those are anywhere from 8 to 10%.
So you could add on to the 115 another, what do you think?
What did we say, $45,000?
Yeah. So you're talking about a $155,000 difference walkout versus their net versus the net that he got when he worked with us. It was, it was amazing because I did not know. And he's a very smart PhD individual. And it came across really like, wow, this could be easy, and I could be in and out, and I could get my next phase going. And I'm glad he called. Worked out quite well for us.
Same too.
And for him.
Yeah, very much so.
Nice. Nice.
What'd you do this weekend?
Went to Austin. It was nice. I will say this much. The Austin today from Austin 10 years ago, nothing alike. It's been a while since I've been there, and I could always see that it was happening. Yeah. But not being there in 3 years because of the pandemic, I think it was shocking to see how much has changed as far as like the high rises that are there. I feel like there's actually more in their downtown as far as livable high rises than probably what we have, which is really odd. Crowded.
Yeah, I bet.
So crowded. I was like, oh, we got to rent paddleboards we went to Zelker Park by 3 o'clock. The line was like 30 on one side and 30 more waiting to pay to get in line. So I was like, 4 hours later, we're not waiting for these. It's a lot. Great time, but it is very different. And people are always like, oh, California's coming to Texas. Like, we don't see it that much. I don't feel like we see it that much. But there you can totally tell that California has rolled in.
Everybody walking around in Birkenstocks and driving their Teslas.
It's so funny because it's somewhere between like preppy and like Austin weird with tattoos. It's just like, wow, there's a lot going on there. Lots. But it's fun. What'd you do?
I went out Friday night with some friends, had a really great time. Saturday, some other friends had heated up their pool. I mean, it's getting closer to doable temperature, but they had heated it up and invited a bunch of people over and had a blast. Sunday, went to Arbor Hills Nature Preserve up in Plano. If you've not been there, great city of Plano park, great hiking trails. It was really a lot of fun. And then went to brunch with some of my friends and
look at you.
Just
busy.
Laughed the day away. Yeah, we did. It was really funny because this group of friends that I was on the hike with, when we get together, I mean, it
Y'all
is
are cut
just, it is one joke after another, or fun, just funny reference, and they're all incredibly intelligent people, which makes it even more fun because then it's, it's like true humor. It's, not relying on dirty words or something like that. It's just, the real ironic things that happen in life. So.
Do we need to have everybody sign a waiver so we can share all y'all's nicknames for each other?
Nope. We're not going to do that.
All right, good times. Let's talk about some Market Watch.
Yeah.
So, Market Watch. This is where we talk about what's happening, what's going on in the last 7 days from the last time we had the show to today. And we talk about a bunch of different categories so we can see what's happening. And so you can see here, we're going to show you last week's numbers. We're going to show you this week's numbers, and we'll start off with new listings. And so there was a change, a great change, up 10%. We kind of expected that. Last week was spring break for much of Texas. And so most people don't really have that time to bring it on. Back on the market. This is when someone was under contract. Now they're back on the market for whatever reason, financing, buyer's remorse, whatever. Down 3%. That means people are serious.
Sticking in their contracts.
They're focused. Now let's talk about price decrease, because this is where they also had an increase. So we see more people who are really reaching for the stars when they put it on the market, and then realized quickly that that wasn't the number and had to drop it.
Under contract and option period, that was down about 14%. Pending numbers were down a little bit. Sold numbers were also down, but that is just kind of a cycle of many sales occur right at the end of the month. So in next week's Market Watch, we'll probably see a big bump in that. Right. Coming soons, we're up 1%. So
lots of great information. One of the things that we always like to point out is that we can actually do these numbers. This is my cheat sheet. We can actually do these numbers for any specific neighborhood, so we can really get granular if a neighborhood that you're interested in watching, if you're thinking about selling and want to kind of know what trends are happening, this is a great way to get ahead of that. Also, with coming soon is a status that is not on any of the websites because it does not get transmitted. If you want to know what's coming soon, let us know, because we can actually set that up, and it comes right from our portal. And that makes you able in this market to know what's happening rather than being reactive. You're proactive.
yes.
So make it happen.
Yep.
What's our first house, Jeff?
First house today, 1026 Kaylie Street in Grand Prairie. And this is a really great neighborhood, super duper convenient. It is easily accessible right off of I-20. You get down to I-20 by doing that 407 loop off of Loop 12, I believe.
Look at you.
Really super, super convenient. Backs up to the Fish Creek it's Grand Prairie Golf Course, but Fish Creek flows through there. And it's not a very big creek, so you don't deal with like mosquitoes and stuff like that. But wonderful, great location.
So one of the other things that we like about this little area is that it is a really good in-between place. If you're not from Dallas and you're looking for a place where you can land that's between Dallas and Fort Worth, this is a really great area of the Metroplex to take a look at. Also, in the news, what we want to talk about is what's happening in the area. In the news, Siemens has just announced in the Biz Journal that they are going to invest $10 million in a local company there in Grand Prairie. And this company is one that previously had an expansion in 2017, employs, I think, 500 people, and that is also really going to be, it looks like, addresses essential power infrastructure, which we all know in Texas is critical.
Absolutely.
So we like that.
One of the other things that has been announced is Alamo Drafthouse is considering opening, or is opening, new theaters, and one of those that they're going to open is going to be in Grand Prairie. And I know that I am a big Alamo Drafthouse fan.
Yeah.
I really enjoy going there. I love the way their service works. Their food is, I think, above many of the other eat-in type theaters. And you can get your beer right there at your seat.
I think the other thing too that's interesting is they've done a really good job of making it a pre and a post movie scenario, because they set it up for you to play card games, Jenga, all of those elements that can keep you there longer or get there early. So one of the other things, if you're from Dallas or you love roller coasters, then you know that Six Flags is just 15 minutes away. And this is, it's very interesting because we had friends in town this weekend. They did not realize that Six Flags was founded, they were from New York, did not realize it was founded here in Texas, and that Six Flags actually stands for the Six Flags that are over the state of Texas that were over the state.
Interesting.
Do you know the 6? Okay, moving on. We'll do that next week. If you do, let us know. So let's jump into this house, and this is going to be 1026 Kaylie Street.
And this is a really great home that was built in 2005. Two-story home, really done very, very nicely. Traditional feel. Come in the front door, you get the staircase going upstairs. Tile entryway coming in that butts up to a beautiful wood floor.
Yeah, and they did a great job in the design of this home with having the raised ceilings up to the second floor, so it has a really grand feel to it. Wood floors from the front door to the back door really help keep it continuous in this house. Living room is great and spacious, and then it does transition into the dining room. As you can see there how they've got it set up, but it also has a little extra seating area there in the kitchen as well.
There is, and I was really thinking it was very forward thinking of them to start with this floor plan, because many times homes that were built in this time frame had that kitchen closed off. They might even have a pony wall between the dining room and the living room. This is just a really great space. Plenty of room for the island in the center, gives you lots of extra workspace. Gas range, built-in oven, double door freezer, refrigerator freezer, and then your laundry room is right off of that also, and it truly is a laundry room.
Yep, and one of the things they also saw that you saw in the previous pictures is the stone that was on the outside is brought in to kind of frame out the area around the stove, which is really kind of nice. Again, light, lots of light. A little window seat here, and they've got a nice high bistro table. And there's a door right there in the right-hand portion of the picture, and that actually takes you down the walkway to the outside. Now, downstairs we have our master, and it's and it opens up to the back of the house, which is nice high ceilings. But this is actually a double master, and we'll talk about that more when we go upstairs. But as you can see here in this photo, the ceiling height is really great, and so it doesn't feel like it's really tight.
It really doesn't. You flow into the master bath here. You've got double sinks in it, separate tub, separate shower, really nicely done. Glass block, so you've got the privacy in the bathroom there, but still get a lot of that natural light that you need.
Yep. And so when we look here, you've got the walk-in shower, you've got the tub here. It would be a really easy thing if you wanted to make all that combined. There are lots of things to do. And one of the great things about this home is it has its own elevator. So if you needed a double master, again, we talked about that, it has it. And you don't have to take the stairs. This is really great for mom and dad to get up and down.
It really is, because upstairs you have this living area that you kind of land on right there, either coming up the stairs or through the elevator. And it's big enough that you could create a small TV area there. You have room to do some kind of little game table if you want. It really is like the second part of the house up there.
Yeah, and it has great light. Plantation shutters throughout, which really kind of make it wonderful. If you're not there, lock them all up, get rid of the light, keep your expenses down. And here we have what could be a master if you want to use this bathroom or bedroom. Really great, large, again, vaulted ceiling. This one does have one window that looks out over the front, which is kind of nice. But again, the configuration is great, and it transitions into this Jack and Jill bathroom.
Yeah, and this is the second bedroom, again, with a little bit of vault in the ceiling. And then you transition into this Jack and Jill bath, which has a full-size shower in it. There is no tub up there, which in most instances is really fine. You do have the double vanity. It's just put together so well that if you have any kind of arrangement where you need to have the two masters, or you've got anybody that needs to have their separate space, it really works well.
And one of the things we loved about this house is how much room they have dedicated to outdoor space. So great covered pergola, flagstone seating area, as well built-in
gas grill.
And then you just have that wonderful expansive view of the golf course, which is really great. It's also less neighbors that you have to worry about.
So 1026 Kaylie Street is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage built in 2005. It's about 2,500 square feet. It's priced at $400,000, and that brings it in at $159.55 a square foot.
Great house.
It's a great value.
It really is. And so what we're going to do in the comments is we're going to put a link. Click on that link if you want to know more information or look at those photos again. Zoom in, zoom out on that map so you kind of know where you are. And if you want to take a look at this house or any other house in that neighborhood, let us know, and we'd be happy to make that happen.
So moving on to our next house.
Which one is it, Jeff?
Our next one is 1564 Sparrow Lane, and this is in Richardson, Texas. And it is one of 32 homes at the CityLine development.
This is a cool area.
Yeah, CityLine is a really great, it's kind of one of those urban hubs that we've talked about before, where you're creating the environment that people want to live near this. It is super convenient. There's over 20 restaurants in the CityLine development. There is the Club Pilates. There's a Whole Foods in there. There's a CVS pharmacy. There is almost no reason that you really have to leave that small development if you don't want to.
Yeah. Hey, Ben, I think we gave you a link on the bottom for the CityLine if you want to bring that up. One of the other great things about CityLine is that CityLine also has a Whole Food. Whole Food was from Austin. So if you're looking for those elements, this is, again, as Jeff was saying, a great mixed use space. And it is really, when we say it is just out the front door, it is just out the front door for this property.
It really is. And the restaurants seem to change a bit as you go there in there. So you've got, some nice high-end restaurants, but you also have some very casual food if you just want to run in and grab something and go.
It is really cool. And one of the things that we noticed that just came out in the Dallas Business Journal the other day was an article that talks about some of the best places to live. And actually, Richardson was picked. And this is in all of America, which is really a great thing. We here know how important Richardson is because it is a great in-between place. If you don't want to go to Frisco and Plano, you need that in-between. Richardson is your go-to. Really a great, diverse school district that gets a lot of attention nationally. So this is a great thing to see more and more people recognizing what a cool place Richardson is.
It really is. And there are a tremendous number of Fortune 500 employers in that area. State Farm is there. Workday is out there. Raytheon has a couple of facilities not far from there. Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is a huge employer in the Richardson area, is only about a 5-minute drive from there.
Which is, you wouldn't think to go north, but it's so easy here to be north of it and just come south.
Yeah.
And you don't ever have to get on 75.
Yeah, and this would be a great commuting place to live if you worked at any of those companies that I just mentioned.
Absolutely. And the other thing we want to point out is that University of Texas in Dallas actually is only 9 miles away. And so it would be just jump on Renner and head west, and that will take you right there. So whether you're a adjunct professor or you're going to school there, this is a really great element to be that close to school and still not so close that you have to be there all the time.
So the 1564 Sparrow Lane is a really great 2019 construction. It's about 2,800 square feet, 3-story. These are all standalone homes, so you're not attached to any of your neighbor. Really impressive walk up on these. The developer on this was Center Living Homes, and Center Living has done a really great job with some of these small infill development construction.
And as you see, as we kind of go through these pictures, you're going to see how interesting the house actually is and how it flows. When we walk in through the front door on the first floor, what you see right here is you have a really nice open space. And the way that it's designed, it actually has 3 windows on 2 sides, which is really great. And again, it creates a very light and bright living space. Here you can see lots of cabinet space, lots of countertop space for you. Whether you're cooking, whether you're entertaining, there is enough room for everybody in this home.
And I like how again, that's very popular floor plan, kitchen, open to dining, open to living, gives you tremendous flexibility in how you want to organize your living areas, your eating areas. This living room is so comfortable to be in, especially with the gas fireplace, the stacked stone. There is storage galore in this house.
That is a great thing. And one of the things too that we like to point out is how high the ceilings are, because a lot of times people are concerned. These are 10-foot ceilings, and you can tell that they've taken the cabinets, when you look back this direction, all the way to the top. And here you can see light. Light is abundant in this place, which is really nice. And there is just a sidewalk and a cement wall that is just on the other side. So it really does create a sense of privacy and separation.
And the great outdoor space, you've got a couple of them on this one. This is the first floor outdoor space with the hot tub that's just been decorated beautifully. And then you come up the staircase. Here is your powder room that's on that. It's just 2 or 3 steps up. And then you get a little switchback staircase that goes on up. This is a picture of the powder room. It's just as cute as it can be.
It was a really smart design, and the owners have done such a great job with the design and the elements, color selection as well. And as you come up, they have really interesting niches on each one of these floors. And these niches, they've set this first one up, and this is a great little reading area because you have windows on either side, nice natural light. And who doesn't want a big utility room? Nobody wants those cramped utility rooms. This one actually has enough room for your front load washer and dryer to be on the storage. So again, win for that.
And this is one of the guest rooms that is on that second level. Every bedroom has its own bath, and they're all en suite. These bathrooms are simply done, but they're so simply done that they're just really nice. You could bring whatever design style you have into these and it's going to work.
And as you can see here, there's interesting steps, step up, step down, that heads down to the master, and then up to the third floor on those steps. But before we run upstairs, we're going to look at the master. Here, one of the great things about the master is how much light we have. Transom windows have been elevated to give you privacy, but yet still let that natural light come in. They've done a great job with the pendant lights. Again, more windows on the side, even though it's just to the wall below in the courtyard, it still adds that natural light and that warmth. And you can see they grow plants everywhere in this house.
And this is the master bath. So you've got the double sink, double vanity. That is a huge storage closet right there for anything that you might need. The big double-sized shower with double shower heads on it. And the water closet in this is huge.
So, as they say in Texas, everything is huge. This house is one of the ones that goes and proves it. Again, here we go into the third bedroom. High ceilings, walk-in closet. It has enough room for a bed and an elliptical machine, and then its own private bathroom. So everything is en suite. That's why we're 3.5 baths in this unit.
And this is comparable to the little reading nook you saw a while ago, but this is up on the third floor. And so if you have two people that work from home, you've automatically got these two office spaces. Just another couple of steps is your second living area. Makes a great media room. That's an 85-inch TV, and it fits perfectly up there.
So outdoor space is great. This is the second one, as Jeff was saying. This has multiple. This one we love because it has amazing views, but it also is covered, which is wonderful because of the way that they've configured it. Views that look back down to the south and west, which is really beautiful for the sunsets. And when we pivot a little bit more in the next picture, you're going to see that we've got really, Jeff, look what you did.
This is a sped up version of the 360-degree view from my drone.
It is a great, as you can see here, area of town, easy to live in. If you're looking for an urban lifestyle, this is a great place for that. It's not too packed yet. Wonderful place to hang out. So this is 1564 Sparrow Lane, 3-bedroom, 4-bath, 2-car garage, built in 2019. It is 2,805 square feet, priced at $749, which comes in at $267 a square foot.
And if you'd like to see any more about this home, click on the link below. There are pictures that we didn't include in the slideshow today. If you'd like to see the home, certainly reach out to us. We would love to show it to you. And with that, we will be right back.
There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223.
Welcome back to the second segment of episode 173, Sold with Updike Pugh. And today we have a real treat for you. If you have wondered about population growth in North Texas, how it's happening, where it's coming from, where people are ending up, this is a great presentation.
It is, and you get to hear our amazing CEO, Chris Kaylie, give the demonstration. So let's take a listen.
Okay, news of the week. I want to share some really great demographic information about what's happening here in Texas. And so kind of look at some of Texas things by the numbers. I talked last week that even though as we're going through different things in the market, if you were going to pick one place to be, this is where you'd want to be as far as going through the real estate market over the next 12, 18, and 24 months. So one of the things that's really interesting is that we are now the size. So just our metro area right here, we are now the size of North Dakota, Wyoming, Hawaii, South Dakota, Alaska, Maine, Vermont, and Montana, all put together in one. You can see from 2010 to 2020, our population change has been 20%. Look at the three cities above us: Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. New York is up 1%. Los Angeles was up 2%. Chicago down about 1%. And again, we've talked a lot before that the projections are by 2040 that we will actually leapfrog Chicago and become the third largest metro area in the U.S. And you can see Houston right behind us. They're growing 20% too. Again, a reflection of a lot of people moving to Texas. So in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, more than 1,300 residents were added between 2010 and 2020. That was that 20% add. By 2045, our population will be 11,200,000. That's 328 people moving to this region every single day. Amazing, isn't it? Pretty astounding. So where are they coming from? I thought this was really interesting to look at. These are some of the migration patterns. And one of the things that we've been talking about with others that have been asking us about this market, and why are we opening up in new offices and new market areas for us that we haven't been in before? It's really kind of shown up here in this graph, because obviously we can see the darker the circle, that means more people have moved here. So you can see a really dark circle from the Los Angeles area. You can see Chicago's a darker green. You can see New York is a darker green. All of those will be the big areas from outside of Texas that are feeding in. But look inside of Texas, well, you can see we have migration coming in from San Antonio, coming in from Austin, and then Houston, as many people moving here from Houston as we have moving from Los Angeles as well. So we see migration happening within the state as well, not just people coming from the outside in. That is one of the reasons why one of our major objectives is to continue to expand and grow our footprint here so that we can take advantage of those people that are moving within the state of Texas as well. So where are they landing when they get here? So this is just kind of a color heat map and stuff. So the darker the color, it is the more people, that's where people are landing. So you can see if you look kind of just everywhere, take people coming here from no matter where they're coming from and really put it all into, to this kind of one map. Where are they landing? What you can see is those northern suburbs are the darker shaded purples. That means there are more people landing in those northern suburbs. You can definitely see there's obviously population really kind of being added everywhere, but the darkest purple, most concentrated purple, you kind of see in those kind of northern suburbs and above, kind of within 635 to the north, and then north going from there is where a lot of folks are landing. But one of the things we can actually look at is you can look at it even closer, and you can look at, well, what about people coming from Los Angeles? What about people coming from New York? So when you break it down from that, it's interesting because it does change a little bit. The folks relocating here from Los Angeles and Southern California, that's in the quadrant there, the 4 quadrant there, the one at the top left. You can see it kind of looks very similar to the map that's everybody. A lot of those northern suburbs again, right? Well, what about Chicago? When you factor Chicago in, it kind of goes a little bit all over the place. Certainly those northern suburbs, but we see a lot of folks landing in some of our eastern markets as well. And then you look out west and you see them landing there also too. Looking at it from the Bay Area, so more northern California coming into here. Again, really kind of in that northeast corridor for folks. And then what about coming from Boston? If you come in from Boston, it's more southern concentrated for where those folks tend to be residing when they move into our marketplace. And if you look at New York, again, it's a little bit of spread out, certainly some to the north, but also kind of spread out a little bit. We've got some there on the west side of town as well. So just something kind of interesting to look at. So, where people are coming from, and then where do they land once they get here? And what this really emphasizes to me is when someone asks me, where are people moving? Where are they coming from when they, where are you growing within the North Texas region or East Texas, wherever it may be? I just point in all directions because all of our directions are growing. So I found that very interesting. What this is kind of showing you is where people are living, how many people live in the area how many people work in the same area that they live versus how many people have to commute. So basically what we're looking here is the square percentages they live and work in the same county. And then the circle one is how many people live in that county but are having to travel outward. So we'll use an example here. So in Collin County, 49% of the people live and work within Collin County. but another 36% are migrating into Dallas for work every single day, right? So you can kind of play that out. So let's look at Parker County. In Parker County, 39% of the people live and work within Parker County, but then another 37% are going into Tarrant County for work during the day. So you can kind of see how this all plays out. And this really plays into the where do I work versus where do I live scenario. And we can kind of map it out with the numbers right here. And what we can see is a lot of people are being able to basically work and live in the same spot. It doesn't necessarily mean that, let's look, for example, like in Ellis County, that 35% of the people in Ellis County are leaving their houses and going to a job somewhere in Ellis County. It could be they're working from home in Ellis County and they don't have to travel outside of that. Same thing like with Tarrant or Denton as well. So really kind of interesting to see where everyone's living and working, and it's kind of fun to study. And again, what you can see is a lot of folks having a lot more flexibility right now in where they live and where they work. And then this is kind of a color chart, and you can spend some time kind of looking at that and stuff. But what we're really looking here is by price point, and, you know, where do different price points kind of fall within our different areas of town. And then really kind of, they've broken it out and kind of, describe each of the demographics that are living there as well, from Gen X urban to sprouting explorers and the middle ground, and then the average price points in each one of those and stuff. And so you can see there's a lot of color on this map. And really what this tells me, what I love seeing about this, is that if you love a certain area of town, there is likely a place, no matter what, price point you might be looking for. Certainly there are areas that are way more expensive or way more affordable than others, but really within any kind of geographic area that you can draw here and stuff, there are options. And that's really one of the beautiful things about our particular marketplaces, which is why it's attractive to so many people moving here, is if I'm really interested in one particular type of housing or one particular type of lifestyle, I don't just have one option. I have a lot of options to choose from. And I know all of you that work with out-of-town buyers coming in through relocation or otherwise probably realize that when they start to realize how many options they have in different areas they want to look at. So I thought this was super interesting as too. So if you like these slides, if you'd like to look at it any further, just shoot me an email. I'll be happy to share them with you. A lot of great information kind of telling us what's happening right here. Once those clients arrive, where are they landing and what are they doing, and how does their work life kind of shake out once they're living here in our Texas market. So anyway, have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all next week. Take care.
Thank you for joining us today. I found that really interesting. What did you think?
Migration patterns. I think it was the second slide that he brought up. The migration patterns, how everybody says, oh, it's all these California people. Yeah, LA was one of the dark circles. But did you notice Texas migration? Houston was a dark circle. I'm like, who knew? Very interesting.
All the Fortune 500 companies moving here bring people from all over the country. So.
I agree with it.
So I hope you enjoyed that today. Thank you again to Chris Kaylie for allowing us to use that. I think you do such a great job with our company, and you do such a great job explaining things like that.
Yep. And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.